So, I want to talk to you today about the importance of integrating the dark shadow parts of ourselves to be able to fully step into our deepest light. And I believe that to fully access our highest expression of light, we must integrate the dark. And that means going into the shadow, going into the pain, going into the trauma, and shining the light and shining the love on these parts of ourselves so deeply. There's a huge part around shadow work and the pain that we have experienced, the pain and trauma that has come into us, that we've experienced maybe from another person hurting us, harming us. There's a lot of shadow work that's being done around that, and that is necessary. And that often feels more comfortable for somebody to go into because in that scenario, they aren't the ones that inflicted the pain. So it's like, oh, I didn't do that. That happened to me. So shadow work is about healing those traumas, those experiences, taking responsibility for our part and healing the wounding, finding forgiveness, finding love, all of that. Absolutely. But a huge part of shadow work is also looking at all the effed up things that we have done to other people, all the pain that we have inflicted onto another. This part is often a lot harder to look at. The part that makes us feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And it's learning to love these parts of us too, because we can't just do half the shadow work. When we do the shadow work, we've got to do all the shadow work. We must integrate all parts of our shadow to access the highest expansion, all parts of our light, all parts of our love. Okay, so an example might be that maybe this part of you, maybe when you were, I don't know, yesterday, younger, who knows, you hooked up with your friend's partner, your best friend's partner, you hooked up with them, and maybe you feel so much shame around it. Like you can't even barely look at it. Like, oh my God, let's just like block that out. I just can't even look at it. Separating yourself from that part of you that made that choice. Or maybe there's a part of you that goes, well, I was drunk when I did that. And, she was being a bitch. So whatever, I did it. Justifying why you did the thing that you did. This is all deflecting. This is all deflecting and all separating yourself from yourself. When we do the shadow work, this means we own it. We own the part of us that made that choice, that effed up. We own the part of us that feels the shame, that did the thing. We see the part of us who did that, who chose that, who made that decision. Okay. And instead of looking at that part of us and being like, separating that part of me is bad, I am a bad person. Instead of doing that, the shadow work is actually owning it, taking responsibility for it, looking into it. If somebody has gone and hooked up with their best friend's partner, maybe rather than that person being like, I'm such a bad person, that person could take responsibility and say, what part of me chose that? The part of me that never feels enough, the part of me who just wants to be seen, the part of me that never feels chosen by or desired by a man or a woman. That's the part of me that made that choice. Was it a good choice? No. Would I choose differently next time? Yes, I hope so. But can I love that part of me? The part of me that just wanted to be seen, the part of me that made that choice because she felt chosen in that moment. Can I love those parts of me? Can I forgive that part of me? Can I show compassion to that part of me? This is the shadow work. This is the deep, deep shadow work that we must do. We cannot ignore that part and be in all the love, light, and expansion. It doesn't work like that. We must be grounded in the dark, in the depths, unraveling the pain, the things that we've experienced, but also the things that we have inflicted and done to others. Okay, this is important. We no bypassing this part. You know what? Every human, all of us make mistakes. All of us make choices that are not always the right choice. But when we acknowledge and honor where that came from, I didn't feel good enough, then we are more likely not to make that same choice again, because we become conscious of what was unconscious when we originally made that choice, did that thing, hurt that person, inflicted pain on that person. When we are conscious, forgiving, and loving to those parts of us, we can consciously move forward with better choices, with more love. Rage, grief, and dissent. The importance of this when it comes to healing our feminine. When we try and ascend without having the descent, there's no foundation. It's like a big tree that's got so many branches, so many leaves, so much up here, but it's got no roots. When that wind comes, when the overwhelm comes, that tree is just going to get flown off, flown away. Doesn't matter how big is it extended. If it doesn't have strong roots, strong foundation, the strong descent into the earth, it's not grounded. Same for us. If we have not got the foundation, the descent, the awareness around the feelings of grief, of rage, of sorrow, of longing, of whatever it is, we cannot truly be in the full expansion of self, of love. The full capacity is not available to us without that descent. When we don't allow ourselves to feel the grief, the rage, we cut off a whole part of ourselves, this powerful, powerful part of ourselves. And often women can say, I feel broken, I feel disconnected, I feel like there's something missing. What's wrong with me? There is nothing wrong with you. The truth is, you are always whole. You are never broken. You are never missing a part of you. You've just separated yourself. You've separated with, oh, that's too much. I can't feel that. That's way too painful. Nope, let's put that in a locked box over here. And then trying to just feel this, but without that wholeness, feel as though something is missing, but it's not. It's just opening the door to what's over here, the uncomfortable, the dark, the shadow, the pain, and allowing this in. There's that part of us for women, we can feel like society doesn't accept me like this. I don't want to look like I'm crazy. I might be too much. What if someone sees through me and they see that I'm not enough? It can be around our sensuality, our eros. We must move past that. Sit with those fears, sit with those feelings and say, I know that I feel this way, but I'm choosing to go into my dark. I'm still choosing to go into these parts of me that feel painful. When we don't feel these parts, when we don't go into the descent, when we don't go into the body, the pain, we can feel cut off from ourselves, which means we're cut off from our feminine power, from our truth, from our true power. We cut ourselves off. These emotions, we have feelings. We are human. We're human. We're meant to feel. Rage allows us to go deeper into passion. Rage, getting that energy to flow, to charge through your body, allows you to access more pleasure. Suppressed rage is stagnant energy. How are you expected to move forward with this passion, this pleasure, this magnetic energy if you've got like a pressure cooker of suppressed rage underneath that's stagnated? It doesn't work, does it? How can you access big, full-blown orgasmic energy if you've got so much suppressed energy that you're like, nah, not looking at that? It doesn't work. When we open the channel, when we charge the energy through, that is where that orgasmic, that is where that magnetic energy can flow through. It's the same with grief. If you're holding grief in the body, you are holding a heaviness in your heart. The grief can close the heart. I often see clients who have worked through the grief from a mindset point of view. They've understood the situation from a mind view. But the heart, she's still holding that grief. Because she's holding it, she feels heavy. And she's putting some armor and some walls up. I don't want to feel that pain again. So I'm going to close myself so that I don't let love in, because what if my heart gets broken again? We got to go into the grief to open to more love. Going into the grief to allow for deeper forgiveness for self, for another, deeper intimacy. So do you see? We must descend into the dark, into the pain, into the shadow, to truly receive the wisdom and the gifts that live there. We have so many wisdom, so much gifts and so much medicine and magic that lives within our shadow, lives within our dark. And we can only have full access to that medicine when we go into the dark. That's deeper love, deeper truth, deeper forgiveness, deeper intimacy, deeper pleasure, deeper passion. And when we go into this, we descend, we grow the roots, we grow the foundation, we strengthen the foundation, we expand our energetic container for what she can hold. Our energy expands. And then when we ascend, when we open, when we expand, when we open to deeper love and light, we are ascending, opening with this deep, deep rooted, grounded foundation, unshakable. This is the power of descent. This is the power of the dark and the power of your shadow. If you feel the call to work more deeply with me, you can check out my offerings, my website. I love to work with women on all of these things, going deeper into the body, deeper into the womb space, deeper into the shadow, to really walk by the side of women who are just so ready to open to more light, open to more love, open to more expansion through the descent and the ascend. So check out my website and hope to see some of you